X wrote a will at the age of 20. Who does that? Who writes a will at the age of 20? Yes, X had a lot of money at that time. He had a $6 million contract that came in at that time. So there was money rolling in. And obviously with the pre-motion, you'll never know when you die. Yes, it makes sense for him to do it a little bit. But what's really strange is too how X used to always talk about dying. Like in this clip right here.
Worst thing comes to worst, I fucking die a tragic death or some shit, and I'm not able to see out my dreams. I at least want to know that the kids perceived my message and were able to make something of themselves and able to take my message and use it and turn it into something positive.
He always used to mention that his end is coming soon, and right before he would die, back in November of 2017, keep in mind he died in June of 2018, back in November of 2017, he made a will, an 11-page will that would detail what happens after he dies. He was thinking about what was going to happen after he dies, which is weird. It's weird, first of all, because he's 20 years old. It's weird, second of all, because he kept saying he was going to die, and then he makes a will where he details it. But deeper into all of this, it might explain why his baby mama has been doing the stuff that she's doing more recently. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about what happened with his stuff. The will says that the beneficiaries meaning that who gets the stuff from the will, goes to his mother and his brothers. It would be split between them. Now, looking at this, I wish I could pull up the 11-page report, the 11-page will, but unfortunately on the Broward County website, you cannot see it. You can just see that it was put in motion on June 25th of 2018, which means that they executed it and all the stuff came over to his mom and his brother, but it does not show us what exactly is said within it. All we can take is what these news articles say. And one of the things that I looked into was this website called Richard Quarles. This is a lawyer website that deals with trust and estate planning. And this is what they said with X. They said 20-year-old Florida rapper Jahseh performs under the name of X, June 2018 robbery. Just a few weeks before his death, he signed a $10 million contract for the release of his next album. Artists generate a great deal of revenue from touring as well. Between his record deal and touring at the age of 20 years old, he had a net worth of $5 million. Of course, his house was amazing. We've seen what his house looked like. His house was amazing. His car was amazing. He had an amazing BMW i8. We know he bought a bunch of stuff for himself too, and that's warranted. He was a successful person. He deserves to reap his rewards and also experience them in his own life. But looking into this, him saying, most surprisingly, X had an estate plan. His plan included a will that designated his mother and his brother as beneficiaries of a trust, meaning that his stuff would go to his mother and his brother. The trust holds all of his assets. This is a very common strategy for Florida residents. But although his mother and his brother are beneficiaries, things become complicated since the birth of his son on January 26, 2019. As I mentioned, he crafted this back in November of 2017. His son, Gekyum, you guys know Gekyum Monfort, this guy, he was born in January of 2019, almost a year and a half after this will was written. Now, looking at what is said, I read through all of this legislation, and what it really says is that in Florida, there is no law, no statute that really talks about what happens if somebody is born after your death, like a son or a daughter is born after your death, and would that be distributed towards them? There's not really much mention in that. What there is mention of is with respect to having a spouse. As the article states, how would this affect the child's mother, X's girlfriend? I'm not going to argue. I know some of you guys think that they weren't dating. I'm not going to argue about that. We'll just call Genesis X's girlfriend from now on in this video. She must be entitled to something since they were together and they have a child together. Unfortunately, Florida does not recognize common law marriage. So common law marriage means that you guys are together for an extended period of time, so therefore you are common law married. And what that would mean is that she would get some of the money, she may be getting some of the benefits also with respect to that. If she lives with him for an extended period of time, I believe, I don't know what it is, but where I am, it's like 2 years. If you live with someone for like 2 years and then you break up, those assets or whatever you bought in that time may be under the legislation to be split up between the two of you. Here we see that Florida does not recognize this. Regardless of how long they were together, the girlfriend is not entitled to anything under Florida law. Situations like this happen. People get together, they stay for 10 years but never get married. If one partner dies, the other will not be entitled to anything. That's crazy. We've seen that Genesis has been doing some stunts on Instagram. We've been seeing she's been doing the texting thing. She's been trying to become a rapper, sell clothes. There was a lot of stuff that I've covered on this channel. If you're interested, I'll have a link in the description below. You can click that one. But there's so many things that have been occurring, and this may be understanding of why. She may not have got money from that. I hope that Cleo still helped her out because she's taking care of X's child. She's taking care of Gekyum, or at least she's taking care of Gekyum. She's taking care of Gekyum. She's trying her best. She's working through being a single mother. It's hard. It's hard to learn all this stuff, especially when another guardian, such as X, would not be there for Gekyum. I really hope Cleo is helping her out and she's not alone in this stuff, because getting a day job for her, getting like a 9-to-5 would be hard. It'd be difficult because she has to work through being recognized as Genesis. She has to work through being recognized as X's baby mom. This article also goes a little bit deeper, so for you law guys, it goes into saying, depending on the details of X's estate plan, his girlfriend could still end up with a control of the majority of his assets. Although she may not own the assets in such a way that she can do with them what she wishes, she will certainly derive some benefit. If the trust does not include a provision for afterborn child, the child's mother could end up as the guardian of the child's guardianship estate. Them talking about that she could still own some of the benefits if this different provision was written in here. All in all, what this is really saying, how I'm interpreting what this is saying, is that it's really complicated. It's complicated to where the assets go. It's complicated. We may be thinking that they go to Cleo, we may be thinking that they go to X's brother, but unless we actually read the will, like from top down, we actually see the will, we won't know where exactly the assets are going. But this may be giving us more clarity into saying where exactly Genesis is in her financial situation currently. We obviously don't know how things would have played out. We can try to assume. We can always try to assume. Assuming is a thing that we do in life. We think like, okay, if this would have happened, how would have that affected that? We do that in life. People do that in life. It's true. We all do that in life as we walk through. So it's safe to assume that yes, she may have some money, and I really hope Cleo's helping her out. But all in all, you see that X's will. X writing a will is strange. It's strange behavior to write a will at the age of 20. You can try to convince me otherwise. I would love for you to go into the comments and type up why it's not strange to write a will at the age of 20. But I personally believe that if we examine all like the top rappers currently, like that are around the age of 20 or around the age of 25, I don't think they have wills. I don't think they're like that. I don't think they execute or they think that type of way. What would that be saying about X? It'd be saying that he thinks a little bit differently. He thinks a little bit more forward thinking. He thinks a little bit more with his head, and he was really thinking forward into what would happen if he was not in this world, planning ahead for his death. That's how I'll leave it at that. If you guys love X, if you guys love hip-hop, if you guys love spirituality and growing yourselves in the new year, welcome to the channel. This is my channel, Blue Vanity. I'm gonna grow you here. I'm gonna help you learn some new stuff. You can bring up with your friends. You can learn and actually grow yourself. So I'll have two videos. I'll have one video right here and I'll have a second video right here. I'll have two videos for you guys. Make sure to check at least one of them out. They're amazing and they'll help you grow. I love you. If you want to chat with me, Discord, description, first link. I love you. Thank you. I'm Blue Vanity. Take care.